Hello crafters, my name is Diane Wilcox and I am hoping that the tutorial you're about to view will leave you with a lasting impression. Hi crafters, my name is Diane and today I'm going to show you how to make this card. This is a double box, pop out, standalone 3D card. It can also be folded flat to be able to be put in a standard size envelope. Most of the products I use today are from Creekbank Creations. The first thing you're going to need is a piece of paper that is 5.5 by 8.5. And then we are going to score that piece of paper at 2, 4, 6, and 8. I have made a diagram so that we can look at it to make it easier for you to follow along. And the first thing you're going to do is lay it in front of you and make sure that your 1/2 inch score line is on your right. Then we are going to take a ruler and we are going to measure down on the left side 2 3/4 inches. And we're going to leave ourselves a little mark. Then we're going to go to the first score line. We're going to measure down 2 3/4 inches, leave a mark. Then you're going to go to the third score line, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to measure down 2 3/4 inches, place a mark, and again on the end, 2 3/4 inches, and place a mark. Then we are going to connect our marks together across, and then we are going to draw a line and connect the marks on the opposite side. Once you have the marks connected, then we are going to take our scissors and we are going to cut down the score line and across your line on both sides. You can use your cutter too if you choose. Once we have cut out our squares, it's going to look like this. Then we are going to, I turn mine upside down. You can do it any way you want. I just find it easier to fold this way. You're going to fold all of your score lines inward. And the very first fold I do in the middle so that I can line up this edge and this edge, because it's important to get those as straight as you can. So I line up my edges and then make my crease. Same thing here, go to your fold line, make sure you're lined up. Go to your score line, line it up, and then last we're going to fold in the little 1/2 inch flap. Going to close the little flap over that has the 1/2 inch score line, and then we are going to push the other one over top of it, and you'll notice that it lines right up on that score line. And at this point we are not going to adhere this together because I put a background in mine. And if you choose to put a background on it, it's easier to do it before we put it together. So as an example, this one here, I put the snowflake background in it. So therefore, I am going to show you how to do the snowflake background next. Okay, so to make the background, I started out with a 5 1/4 by 3 3/4 inch piece of paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stencil my snowflakes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a small piece of double adhesive tacky tape onto the back of the piece of paper that I'm going to stencil. And what this is going to do is it's going to keep it from moving around so that I get a really good image. Then I'm going to take the Creekbank Creations Snowflake Stencil. I'm going to put it where I want it on my piece of paper. And then I am going to take a piece of purple removable tape and I'm going to tape my stencil down so that that doesn't move on me. And then I'm going to use Creekbank Creations J Brush. And the brush was designed by Julie, and it has a sleeve that you can pull down and up. When you pull the sleeve down, the bristles get longer, and it creates a nice soft color. And when you pull the sleeve up, the color gets more intense. So when you get to the end, the bristles become very dense, and then the color also becomes more intense. So I'm going to show you that as I work along. So I'm going to pull it up to get some nice soft color to be able to make my snowflakes. I'm going to wipe the brush in my ink. I'm going to wipe it off on a piece of scrap paper. And then using circular motions, I'm going to start applying color in my snowflake stencil. So I'm going to wipe it on my ink, wipe it off on my paper, and apply it to my snowflake stencil. And I'll do that one more time. Wipe it in my ink, wipe it off on my paper a little bit, and then apply it to okay, and then I want to get the little ones, so I'm going to pull my sleeve up a little bit. Now the bristles are shorter, the color becomes more intense, and it also gets into those little teeny snowflakes that are on here. So this just does a little bit better job in getting in those small snowflakes. Sorry, my arm's in the way. I'm trying to get into my ink pad here. And then for the last one, I'm going to pull those bristles back to get my softer color. I'm going to wipe it in my ink, wipe it on my paper, and do the last once over here. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to take off my purple tape. So now we will lift our stencil off, and underneath we will have our beautiful snowflakes. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of undo on my card so that I can get the tape off without tearing my card. So next we are going to take our background piece. I scored it at 1 7/8 inch, which is half. So you can score it and then fold it in half, or you could just fold it in half. Just make sure it's even. And then I creased it. Then what I did is I did put tape on the back of the both sides. And then you can do it two ways. You can either fold it in half and lay it on your card on half and then close the top on it, or you can leave it open and line it up open and then fold your card. Either way makes no difference. So I'm going to leave it open, and I don't push it down hard until I get it in place and open it back up and make sure it's still looking okay. Then I press it in. So now we have our background on our card. So the next step that we're going to do is to make the box at the bottom. So to do that, we're going to fold our flap in that has the 1/2 inch tab on it. I'm going to put a piece of adhesive. And then I'm going to fold the top over top of it. Press it down, and you will see that now when we bend it, we have a box shape. Okay, and then the next step is going to be to show you how to put the either sentiment or design, embellishment, whatever you choose to put on the inside of the box. It's easier to put this in now than it is to put it in afterwards. I used Creek Bank Creations Snow Christmas edge dies to make the presents. And how we're going to make this is we're going to punch out 2 3/4 inch circles. Okay? Then we are going to fold each one in half. So you got 2 circles. We're going to fold them in half. Okay, then we are going to take the circles and we are going to put glue on one side. We're going to put the glue on one side of this half circle, okay? So then you're going to take and you're going to put that approximately in the middle is where I chose. You can put anywhere you want. Right up, you're going to put the fold of the half circle against the fold that we created at the front of the box. And then you're going to take your other circle, you're going to glue one half, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn that over. We're going to put it right up to that score line and the fold going towards the center. And when we're done, we're going to have two half circles that make a whole circle, and that's going to be where we're going to stick either our message or our embellishment or whatever we choose. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my half circles, and then I'm going to take my Christmas packages that I chose to use for my center, and that's going to make it so that when my box comes up, it makes it so that it's 3D. It'll pop up and lay flat with my card as it moves. So now we're moving with the card. Next, we're going to work on making our two boxes that pop out. Now we're going to cut two pieces of paper that are 7 by 1 7/8 inch. And then we're going to score them at a 1/2 inch, 2 1/8 inch, 4 7/8 inch, and 6 1/2. So now I have my two that I've already pre-scored. You're going to fold all your score lines inward. And again, make sure they're lined up as you're folding them in. Okay. And then this is what's going to make our box shape to go around the outside of our card. I'm just going to give you a briefing on how this goes. So we're going to stick this in the top. We're going to end up gluing it. You fold it around, and then we're going to stick it in the bottom. And that's going to make our box. But I'm going to decorate the outside of my strip first, because I find it easier to put my embellishment or decorate it before I put it on the card, at least for the center one. So I'm going to take my strip, I'm going to take my center long box, and I'm going to apply my snowman to it. The snowman was made out of Creek Bank Creations Snow Christmas Edge dies. The whole card was made out of the same die set. I'm going to center this and stick it on here. And then I'm going to take my second strip and I'm going to do the same thing with my Christmas tree. I also used Creek Bank Creations Shake and Rattle confetti that has little stars in it. I used that for just a little bit of bling for the sky. There's Shake and Rattle confetti. Comes in a package like this. And now we are going to take and show you how to adhere this to our card. So to start with, I'm going to take my snowman, I'm going to turn it completely upside down. And the part that's going to get glued or taped, whichever you prefer, is going to be the 1/2 inch flap that's on the end, but you're going to tape it on the back side. So turn your piece over and put your tape on the back side, top and bottom, on that 1/2 inch score line. Then I'm going to take that, and I'm going to see if I can turn this so you can see where I'm putting it. I'm going to put it right here on the left hand side. I'm going to stick this flap down in the top, line it up that 1/2 inch score line with the edge of the top of my box, and then I'm going to adhere it down. When I stick it down, I'm going to make sure that it lines up even with this edge. You will see an 1/8 inch or a 1/16 inch little edge on the border. That's okay. And then I'm going to take that same piece and I'm going to stick it on the bottom. So if you turn your box upside down, you can stick it right in the bottom of the box. Pinch it together. And once again, before I put it really tight, I'm going to lay it here and make sure that it's lining up on this edge. And I also want to make sure it lays flat. If I have to persuade my edge right here a little bit, I will, to make it lay flat. So we want to make sure that it lays flat. Then you should be able to bend it back and forth here. Okay, the important part is that it lays flat when you push it up, because that's how it's going to end up in your card. So then we're going to do the exact same thing with this Christmas tree one. We're going to turn it over. We're going to put a piece of tape on that 1/2 inch tab and a piece of tape on the next 1/2 inch tab, the bottom. Remove that and make sure my tree's upright. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put it on the opposite side. We're going to stick this in the top. We're going to put it, center it. I'm going to lay it down, make sure it's lining up straight on my edges here. Again, I will see a little space there, an 1/8 inch to a 1/16 inch mark. That's okay. Then I'm going to pick it up, turn my box upside down, and I'm going to pinch my tab in there. I'm going to lay my card back down, make sure it's lining up. If I have to persuade my score line just a little, I will. I want to make sure that it's laying flat, as if I'm going to stick it in an A2 size envelope. And then I should be able to pick my boxes up, and if you pinch it together, now you have your box that pops up, your message that pops out. Okay, and then next we will move forward and show you how to put the stabilizer up here for your sentiment. For the sentiment, I'm going to cut a piece of paper that is 3 by 1/2 inch. I'm going to score it at 1/4, 1 inch, 2 inch, and 2 3/4. Then I'm going to take the paper and I'm going to fold all my score lines inward. And then I'm going to put tape on the back of it on just the center and the 2 tabs on the end. So I have a piece of tape in the center and my 2 tabs on the end. Then I'm going to take my message, sentiment, whatever you choose. I'm going to center it on my strip and press it down. You can put your stabilizers on your box first and then put your sentiment on it. I just choose to do it this way. Then I'm going to lay my card flat. I'm going to stick this, I'm folding my flaps in down here in the back. They have my tape on them. I'm going to put my message or my sentiment where I want it. And I'm going to stick it on there. And then again, when I fold my card, it makes that pop out with the rest of the card. So now you have your 3D card that will stand alone. It has your message on it. Your boxes will close up, lay flat, open up, pop out, and now we will put our presents on the top. To make my presents, I took a piece of Creekbank Creations Christmas garden paper and I cut it at 1.5 by 1.25. Then I cut me a piece of gold ribbon and I put a piece of 1/4 inch super tacky tape on the back of it so that I could place my ribbon halfway on my package to make it look like it's being wrapped. And then I cut another piece, so I'm basically making a plus out of it. I fold my edges under. Okay, and then I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back side of it. Okay, then we're going to bring our project back in. I'm going to take and I'm going to center this on the top of my boxes. Center this one on this side. I use 2 different colors just to be different. Okay, then I made 2 bows and I'm going to put a glue dot on the bow and stick my bow right on the top of my package. Glue dot, stick the bow on my package. Now we have a completed project. So once again, there we go. Our project is complete. It's our double box, pop out, 3D, standalone card that we can fold up and mail in an A2 size envelope. Hoping you all enjoyed this video. Looking forward to making another one soon.